What's up everybody, it's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after his impromptu discussion or 20-minute rant oh my lord, where he goes off on people not supporting his Wulong playthrough and also his Oblivion playthrough. And he went on and on and on about wage quitting the game and just looking, I guess, for an excuse or out to quit the game. And I mean, really, does he really need an excuse to quit the game? I mean, he's quit so many other games, and we know why. It's not because it's hard, it's not because it's a buggy game, it's solely because he's not getting the support he needs. And if you guys watched his 20-minute rant, he said support probably 5 to 10 different times, so it's nothing new. Anyway, let's see what our boy has to say here.
What's going on, everyone? Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 7th of March, 2023, my final consecutive streaming day of the week until my day off tomorrow. A pretty eventful day. First of all, on the Level 1 podcast this morning, we talked a lot about the future. I posted up a poll on DSP Reacts regarding 5 different movies and or series that I can watch this week and then post up a review of later on in the week on that channel for some additional content. The choices are The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix, the Peacemaker television series starring John Cena, and the Velma cartoon series. Members are currently voting on what they'd like to see, and I will likely watch one of those, probably like tomorrow night, and do a review maybe Thursday or Friday, okay? So please vote. If you're a channel member over there, please vote. In addition, we talked at length about what I should possibly do for my birthday bash next month, because unlike previous years where we were going to do a big member goal and we must hit the goal in order to do an event for the birthday, instead we're just doing it. Changed everything up this month per your request. I said no more big goals like that. Instead, let's do little daily goals, see if we can hit them, and instead let's just do the event. So we're doing it.
Oh wow, thank you DSP. I appreciate the fact that you no longer have a member goal where you expect people to pay you to become a member, and the reward, of course, as we all know, is you, the Dents, get an opportunity to watch Phil do a marathon where you are supposed to give him more money. It's astounding the racket this guy has, and I guess he finally realized that the days of member bombs are over, and him hitting, you know, these outrageous member goals every month are over. So he definitely still needs to make sure that he does these special, air quotes, they can't be special if you do them every other week, but special marathons where Phil makes the bag. And we all know Phil definitely needs to make that bag, because, you know, those streams are pretty much the only thing that seems to be keeping him afloat lately. For the last 2 months, I mean, it's been more than the last 2 months. December, he had a little bit much support because of the holidays, but January and February have just been utterly terrible for Phil, and I think he realizes that, and I think the panic has kind of set in, and that's why you hear him, and you know, when he speaks, he seems to be very erratic, even though he knows he's not supposed to do that. For example, the day before yesterday, he went on this long spiel about apologizing and begging, and he's sorry, and that he's going to do better, and that, you know, he knew what he did was wrong, and he knew he reverted back to his old ways. And literally a day later, what did he do? He did the same exact thing yesterday. He did it during his Wulong playthrough, but even more, he did it during the Oblivion playthrough. I mean, right at the end, he went, you know, into this full-throated 20-minute rant about support and people watching him, just watching him to rage and not supporting, to the point where he actually, someone super chatted and said they had made a comment about something, I'm not sure what it was, regarding I remember, this person super chatted and basically says that, you know, you only play games that give you money. You only play games that give you money, which is true. And what did he do? He called this guy a dingus and called him out for not super chatting at the appropriate time. Essentially, he essentially said, why didn't you super chat me during the playthrough, dingus? And it was just utterly just distasteful and disgusting, and we're gonna see more of this. It's just gonna get more and more erratic as time goes by, and his tips just continue to dry up.
One of the big ideas that came up was tier lists. You aware of that website Tier Maker, where I guess you can do lists of various different things, and you could be interactive with your audience about it and talk about the different things and go back and forth. It was interesting because someone said you could do like horror movies, you could do horror games, you could do fast food, you could do this, that. I was like, that's actually pretty neat. That's actually a good idea. I don't know how long we would do it for the day, but that could definitely be one of the segments of things that we actually do for my birthday bash. So, interesting. If you guys have any other ideas of things we could do during that birthday event, whether it's a game to play, whether it's a special segment like that, whether it's a react, let me know. Leave comments on this video, or on that podcast, or just jump by a stream in the next month and let me know, because my birthday is April 6th, and that's tentatively when we're going to do this event right now. Okay. So after the level 1 podcast, we jumped back into Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This was supposed to be my final stream of the game. The game's not getting any better. Let's put it that way. It's still frustrating. The level design is annoying.
Real quick, so I can't believe he's actually going to be doing his stream on his actual birthday. I mean, that is so telling. I mean, we all know Phil has no friends, and we all know that, his marriage is, well, that's for a different podcast, but how sad. I mean, and I'm not, I know everyone might say, well, you're just saying this because you're a troll detractor of Phil. But Doody, you guys know Doody. I will be honest and open and let you know how I truly feel about things. And right now, that's one of the segments right now that I'm going to do. I feel bad for the guy. He has literally no friends. He has no family. I mean, the only family he has are his parents, which live in Connecticut. And he is not, for his birthday, which I'm one of the, I don't celebrate. I can care less about my birthday. It's just another day, another year. And if my family wants to do something, fine. If my friends want to do something with me, fine, or whatever, and I go along with it, it's perfectly fine. But I have that there. I can say to myself, okay, well, it's my birthday. I want to do something different. I want to go out. I can do that. With Phil, you refuse to do that because I think you can't do it because you don't have any friends, and any family technically you have is your wife, and it doesn't seem like she really wants to do much with you. And second, you rather be on stream on your birthday because that day you're going to garner a lot of tips and support, because your dents are going to be like, oh, it's your birthday, let's just throw cash Phil's way, which I guess is nice, and I guess good for you, since cash and money and tips are what drive you. That's your main driver. But it's a pathetic existence, Phil, because as you say, the money comes in and then the money goes out. That's your existence. So you're living your life to pay your bills. And on your birthday, which is one day a year that, okay, if you want to celebrate it, cool, you're stuck in an office staring at a monitor with a bunch of strangers and hoping that they throw money your way. And that's a very sad existence. I mean, I'm a bit of a loner. I like to kind of keep to myself. I have a small pocket of friends. I have my family. I have my immediate family, and that's it. And that's the way I'm just that type of person. But to sit and be like, oh, well, I'm going to stream on my birthday because, I'm going to get a whole bunch of tips and support is just sad, especially being the fact that money just comes in and goes out, and we know what you do with your tips. And it's very sad. It kind of breaks my heart.
The game's controls aren't perfect. They're still good, but they're not perfect. I think the camera has some issues, and yes, the frame rate continues to dip in heated combat on the Xbox Series X. So it's not a great game in my opinion. It's good, but it's nowhere near as good as a FromSoft game. Got all the way through this. I was frustrated all day, basically criticizing the game. At the very end of today's stream, we're at the end of a stage. I get to a boss. It's Lu Bu. For those who don't know from Dynasty Warriors, Lu Bu is the infamous badass, the big boy, the character who everyone talks about and hypes up and everything. And I'm like, man, he's a boss in this game. And everyone actually says to me as I'm playing, Phil, just so you know, this is the hardest boss in the entire game. And I'm like, it's 10 hours in. Well, I guess 10 and a half, 11 hours in for me. This is the hardest boss? Why? I thought the game's like 30 hours long. So we were like, yeah, if you do content and everything, it is around that long. So why is this the hardest boss in the game? Pretty dumb. that it's that early in the game, in my opinion. And I'm like, man, and we ran out of time. I even went 15 minutes late to try to fight this guy. I fought him like twice. I was like, I'm out of time. So I would feel almost a feeling of like, not necessarily blue balls, you know what I'm saying? But like the fact that I got to him and I didn't really get a chance to give it a try, an honest try. I feel like I want to play the game one more time. But admittedly, at the same time, I don't think I want to do a full 30+ hour playthrough of this game. I don't think it's going to warrant my time. Now, tonight, I made a special video. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, explaining my thoughts on what we're going to happen with Wolong. All right? But anyway, videos are up, rage-filled, very critical of the game. Then on the late stream tonight, we did 2 chill hours of Oblivion fun. Attendance was good. Interaction was good. Support was darn good for a 2-hour late-night chill stream. Continued on with the Thieves Guild. Lots of advancement there. Okay? When I finally finished with everything, and I'm looking at the day, I'm like, so let me get this straight. In 2 hours that I played Oblivion, I had way more fun, way more interaction, and the support was quite good, as opposed to today's Wolong stream, where I didn't enjoy myself, the engagement was very limited or non-existent, and the support wasn't even that good for a full daytime stream. And I basically came to an epiphany. I'm like, why am I killing myself over this? So I made about a 10-minute video, which you should find live here on the channel momentarily if it's not already, explaining my full thoughts on my mentality moving forward here on the channel. All right? I'm not the guy who's just going to be here to beat himself up playing every difficult game anymore. In fact, I'm having so much fun not playing those kinds of games that I likely will save those kinds of playthroughs for the special ones, like the FromSofts, okay? There may be some exceptions. You know, later this year, Lies of P is coming out, and it looks quite good. But for the most part, I don't see why I should continue to be the guy that's going to beat himself up playing a hard game like that, when in reality, it doesn't equate to views, it doesn't equate to support, it doesn't equate to enjoyment, it doesn't equate to engagement, and everyone who actually likes me and my content is saying, dude, you should just play something else then. So, watch the whole video for the full explanation. There was some back and forth with the audience then, because I kind of did it impromptu, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this again later this week.
Oh yes, I caught that whole impromptu where you essentially berated your viewers and you berated a person that super chatted because they actually called you out and they told the truth. They essentially said that you gauge games based on how much support you get. You clearly do. You said it yet again. And that's the reason why you've been ranting and raving the last few days, because you haven't been getting the support. And if this, for example, you played Wolong the last time, I think it was, before yesterday, you got $100 in support. And your mood changed, you felt all fine, you felt better. That was the day before, you got before you got your emails from your supporters calling you out. So yesterday, if you would have gotten $100, you would have been perfectly fine. You would have said, "Oh yeah, it's challenging, but I'm going to continue playing it for my viewers. That's what they want, and I'll keep doing it as long as support is there." And for you to sit there and berate someone that super chatted you, mind you, they super chatted you. They gave you a $3 super chat and basically said, you base your games based on how much support you get, which is actually true. And what do you say? You essentially insult the person, you call them a dingus, and say, why didn't you super chat me during the playthrough? What business is of yours when people tip you or super chat you, Phil? You should just sit there and just say, thank you, I appreciate the support, and move on. Not berate the viewer who actually gave you some money, Phil. And that's the reason why people have been calling you out. That's the reason why these supporters have been emailing you, because they hate your attitude. It's not that you beg, they hate your attitude, because when you don't get a response, when you don't elicit a response that you want, which is I need more money, you turn into a jerk, you turn into an asshole. And that's why they're berating you, Phil. You're going to constantly ask and beg, and people know that you need money and you need support to pay your bills. People already know that, Phil. So for you to harp on it and then just get pissy and upset and rage is not appropriate. It's not, Phil. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you that it's not. And if you continue to do it, you're just going to continue to lose more supporters and more tips. That's essentially what's going to happen, Phil. You're going to hit a wall one day, and people are just going to say, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Enough. And you're going to get it in droves. Not one person, not two people. You're going to get it in droves, Phil. And I think that's what you need, I think, to really fully change as a person. Because change isn't I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna try to do better, and then fake it. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like it's sort of like if you are an angry husband and your wife says you have a temper problem and you scare me and I don't know if I can deal with this anymore. If you keep this up, I'm gonna have to leave. And you sit there and you say, I'm sorry, dear, I will change, I will no longer be angry, right? But if you don't make an internal change, like try to change the person who you are, you know, yourself, your being, your soul, you know, you make a conscious decision to say to yourself, I need to change as a person, I need to change who I am. If you don't do that and you just basically make it superficial, where you're just gonna, when your wife's around, you're gonna be nice, but any other time you're gonna be a jerk, that's not gonna work. You're gonna fail, because what happens is the mask comes off, and there are going to be periods where you're with your wife, your significant other, and you're going to blow up on them, and they're going to remember that, because remember, you said, I promise I'm going to change. But if you don't make that real internal change, it's not going to work. And Phil, for you to sit there and say, I'm going to change, I'm not going to beg anymore, and then beg, you know, no one buys it, and it just irritates people. So anyway, I think that's the advice I'm going to impart on our boy Phil here. Hopefully he will contemplate on his day off his actions, and I think we may hear another apology tomorrow, because he's going to get feedback, like he likes to say, and watch his, you know, get his comments and watch his views and stuff. And he's going to probably come back and say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to be that way, please forgive me, I will do better. And again, he just won't. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.